Hey guys, welcome to the WikiWalks channel. Today's topic will be Malay Dilemma, Malaysia's trap to China. What is this issue between Malaysia and China? Is Strait of Malacca a very important place? What is the reason when China's relations started to dwindle with Malaysia and move towards Pakistan? Is China currently working on creating a strait in Thailand? What is the reason China doing this project? We will discuss in detail in this video. WikiWalks is Tamil Pokisham's English channel. We released a dubbing video yesterday and it was our first attempt. We knew that the voice of our friend will not sync with the video. In the upcoming videos, there will be only content and we will show you the proof needed through images. There is also another channel in Malayalam. The content will be uploaded and the visuals will be only images and small videos. We are confident that WikiWalks will reach many people across the world. You may have a doubt. What is this WikiWalks? Wiki is taken from WikiLeaks and Wikipedia. The name of Wikibro also sounds like Wiki. Walks means voiceover. Only voices will be included with images in the videos. Now, we are going to discuss Malaysia and China. China is pressuring a lot of countries. In yesterday's video, there was an image in the video which said that Philippines is going to buy BrahMos missiles from India. But some commented that it was not the Philippines but Indonesia. They requested us to confirm the news. To all who are wondering which country is going to buy the BrahMos missiles, both Indonesia and the Philippines are ready to buy the BrahMos missiles. We have already discussed the issues between Philippines and China. Indonesia has a similar issue with China. We have discussed the Natuna Regency. Natuna Island belongs to Indonesia, but China, which is 1500 kilometers away, is saying that Natuna Island belongs to them. There are so many reasons China has in this issue. The most important one is Malaysia. This video will be concentrated on this map. Please have a look. This is where Natuna Island is located. Natuna Island lies in between the Malaysian regions. So the sea region comes under the authority of Malaysia. Now we should look at the Strait of Malacca. China's 80% of crude oil was transported through the strait. Nearly 25% of the world's trade is happening through the Strait of Malacca. The Strait of Malacca is the main reason Malaysia is a rich country. Malaysia on many occasions says that they will close the Strait of Malacca. The Straits Authority belongs to Malaysia, Indonesia and Singapore. The majority of the control is with Malaysia. On 1947, China shows a map and draws 11 dash lines. After 1950, they erase 2 dash lines. So now the count is 9 dash lines. In the last video, we discussed that China wants to take over nearly 80% of the South China Sea to itself. China is occupying so many regions and they are creating artificial islands as well. In the past 11 years, China has bought more than 200 ships which create these artificial islands. These ships are called dredging ships. What are they doing with these 200 dredging ships? They keep on creating artificial islands. We will also have a doubt. How can they create these artificial islands? The dredging ship stops in a location on the sea. From the ship, the tubes will go down to the seabed. So they will dig the sea sand and they will heap these sands in one place. One side it will become a crater and the other side will come up as an island. This is the work of these dredging ships. China has the most dredging ships in the world. In the upcoming 10 years, China says it will create more islands. Now, you may have a question in your mind. Why are they creating these artificial islands? These islands are created so China easily can say that 200 kilometers from these artificial islands will be their exclusive economic zone. We have to discuss the two island groups in South China Sea. The first is called Paracel Islands, the other is the Spratly Islands. The Paracel Islands have been contested by China, Taiwan, and Vietnam. The Spratly Islands are contested by Taiwan, Vietnam, Philippines, China, and Malaysia. In this issue, Malaysia is involved. If you search for an answer to find these issues happening in the South China Sea, the Spratly Islands issue will come first. From the Spratly Islands, Natuna Islands are not far. Malaysia controls both regions which surround the Natuna Island. The island is dead center. If China gains authority over the Natuna Islands, China will create artificial islands near it. If this happens, China will be able to control Malaysia from the center of the country. So, if Malaysia dares to close the Strait of Malacca, then China will just say that Malaysia will become its enemy. In One Belt, One Road initiative, China has invested in many countries. Russia is the first country where China has invested more money than other countries. There is an expensive project between China and Russia. Then comes Malaysia. China spent a lot of money for projects in Malaysia. Now you can understand how important Malaysia is to China. There came a time when there was a political issue within Malaysia. One corruption changed the government. One MDB corruption. Najib was the person who committed this corruption. One MDB corruption paved the road for Mahathir Mohamad to become the next Prime Minister of Malaysia. The accusations against Najib was that he transferred 1 billion US dollars to his personal bank account. Najib rejects the accusations and says that he was gifted 1 billion US dollars. There were so many issues around this scandal. When a change in the government happened, Mahathir Mohamad immediately cancels the unwanted agreement with China, the One Road and One Belt initiative. Mahathir promises the Malaysian people he will cancel the projects and he wins the elections. When he becomes Prime Minister, true to his word, he cancels a project called ECRL project. ECRL project means East Coast Rail Link project. This project has estimated a total of 25 billion US dollars. This project was to build just a railroad. You could wonder, 25 billion US dollars for one project? There were 24 agreements signed. So the total estimation of all these projects which Malaysia has to pay to China was more than 100 billion US dollars as debt. Mahathir speaks with China. They finally come to an agreement that the project will be completed for a cost of 12 to 16 billion US dollars. China accepting this deal has its own reason. We discussed the 1MDB corruption. The assets of that project was not sold because no one wanted to buy corrupted assets. The Chinese government buys all these corrupted assets. China has helped Najib by saving him. Now it also wants to become an ally to the present Prime Minister to invest a lot of money in Malaysia. All this has been done for Strait of Malacca. So after spending huge amounts of money, China has started the ECRL project. China knows that Malaysia may change its views and close the Strait of Malacca. If Malaysia does that, China will never receive the 80% of the crude oil resources. China wanted to create an alternative route, so they start their research. There is another strait near the Strait of Malacca called the Sunda Strait. So the Chinese test their ships along this Sunda Strait. The strait is so short, large ships cannot use the Sunda Strait, so China cannot use this Sunda Strait. Strait of Malacca is a small region which connects the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean. So, using this strait, the ships can easily travel from the Indian Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. There is another route through Thailand. Is there a strait near Thailand? No. But if China builds it, then it is possible. The narrowest part of the Malay Peninsula is Kra Isthmus. If China obtains this region, China will have no need for Strait of Malacca. Malaysia Strait, their economy, all will be completely stopped. If Thailand gives Kra Isthmus to China, but China bargains with Thailand for Kra Isthmus failed. The country had enough economy to sustain itself. Thailand knows about China and refuses to believe even a single word China says. So, Kra Isthmus is shut for China. Now China looks for another alternative route. So, the crude oil normally is transported from the Middle East via Pakistan to the Indian Ocean. It crosses the Strait of Malacca and reaches China. Why can't China just build a pipeline through Pakistan to China? This was the reason why Pakistan gave the Gwadar port to China. China's aim is to make Pakistan its slave. If Malaysia closes the Strait of Malacca, Pakistan is the only hope for China. This is the reason China is lending huge sums of money as debt to Pakistan. In today's news, the World Health Organization says to Pakistan not to unlock the lockdown. The coronavirus is spreading rapidly in Pakistan and its economy is not able to sustain this situation. Pakistan is asking for 15 billion US dollars as debts to many countries. Pakistan's economy has hit rock bottom. The reason why Pakistan is in this situation was because of China's debts. 70% of Pakistan's taxes are paid to China as interest for their debts. China has completely occupied Gwadar port from Pakistan. If there is an issue in the Strait of Malacca, China will use the Pakistan route to transport the crude oil into China. This is China's very important project. There are so many issues for China with these pipelines. There is a threat from terrorists. There are so many issues China has to face. Are there only these two alternative routes available to China? China has aimed at other countries. We discussed Myanmar. The last two videos were based on Myanmar. China can use Myanmar as an alternative route. They have the plans to do it. What is China's plan in Myanmar? Are all the reasons why other countries are opposing China? Are there benefits for these countries? Will China be opposed in Africa and Pakistan after the coronavirus pandemic? We can discuss this in another video. Our aim with WikiVox channel is to give the much needed information to the people all over the world. We don't want to shine or become a star in the channel. For us to send our information to people across the world, we need the English language. Many of our audience requested for the English channel. We believe that you will support this channel also. Comments about this post or video are most welcome. Please do subscribe for more content to WikiVox. நன்றி வணக்கம்.